We didn't have a name. We were just playing at clubs and up at the chateau, and we didn't really have an official name.
I think it was our first gig.
And he came in the door and he says, "You ought to call yourselves the Doobie Brothers." And everybody said, "That's a stupid name. And why would we do that?"
And for no reason.
But we.
What if I told you that one of America's most beloved rock bands, a group that fused biker bar grit with silky California soul, sold over 40 million albums, survived multiple breakups, and reinvented themselves so many times that they ended up sounding like two different bands, yet somehow kept their name alive for over 55 years. This is the untold story of the Doobie Brothers. The band critics underestimated, the industry reshaped, and fate kept tearing apart and putting back together again. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you love deep dive stories of rock's greatest rises and falls. It truly helps keep these legends alive. San Jose, 1970. The counterculture is fading, biker culture is rising, and four musicians, Tom Johnston, Pat Simmons, John Hartman, and Dave Sjogren, are rehearsing in a small California house, playing raw, twin guitar boogie rock. They don't know it yet, but they're about to start one of the most unexpected careers in American rock history.
Semblance of truth in there, I think, possibly.
No. It was kind of like, you guys smoke so much pot, you should call yourselves the Doobie Brothers.
Right.
It's not a true story at all.
All right, well, I'll write that down as not a true story.
Definite maybe. How's that?
Let's see.
Their name? It wasn't philosophical. It wasn't poetic. A friend joked they should call themselves the Doobie Brothers because they smoked so many joints. They thought it was stupid. They used it anyway.
I think as dinosaur bands go, we get along better than a lot of them, too.
Yeah.
Dinosaur bands. Ouch.
I was going to say, that is a crazy term.
Yeah, I
That is
hadn't
a hell
thought
of
of
a
that
term
one.
you just coined.
I've heard it, but I
We're
didn't
gonna fight
think
about
it.
that later.
Early shows were rough, loud, sweaty nights inside Northern California biker bars, like the Chateau Liberté and the Santa Cruz Mountains. Leather, Harleys, and beer bottles clinking under dim bar lights. This environment shaped their sound. Two drummers pounding like thunder, tight three-part harmonies, and the thump of Pat Simmons and Tom Johnston's twin guitars. Producer Ted Templeman heard their demo and instantly knew these guys had something.
You're recording minute by minute. Here, are you aware that this might really be huge?
I don't think you can ever predict those things. I think you can only say this is accomplishing what I had in mind as a writer or as a player.
Warner Brothers signed them in 1970. Their first album came out in 1971 and went nowhere, but failure didn't scare them. They hit the road again. Then came 1972, Toulouse Street, the album that opened the floodgates. Listen to the music. Jesus Is Just All Right and Rockin' Down the Highway shot across American radio.
This guy said, "You smoke so much weed, you should call yourselves the Doobie Brothers." Yeah, right. That's gonna fly.
The band went from smoky biker bars to national stages in less than a year. Templeman was right. The Doobies were a force.
Boy, that's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
It'll sound like I'm bragging on the band, but there's a lot of good songs. I guess I kind of like, I like South City Midnight Lady. That's a good song. One of Pat's songs. It's one of my favorites when we do play it.
Their next album, The Captain and Me, 1973, went double platinum. It delivered two timeless rock staples, Long Train Runnin', which hit number 1, 8, and China Grove, which hit number 15. In a later interview, Tom Johnston admitted he had no idea China Grove was a real Texas town when he wrote the song. He had seen a highway sign on tour, forgotten the moment, and somehow the name slipped into the music. If the Doobies seemed unstoppable, 1974 proved it.
You make allowances, you sort of have to. And just like you make allowances for the travel, you make allowances for being deadbeat, but you got to get up on that stage and you got to perform. Well, they don't care if you're deadbeat, they want to show. Yeah. Any of that kind of stuff can get fixed, and I firmly believe this, once you get on stage. And I watched Greg Allman tell you this. This is why I'm bringing this up.
Their album, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits, included Pat Simmons' laid-back masterpiece, Black Water. It wasn't even meant to be a hit. It was released as a B-side. But radio DJs flipped the single, fell in love with Black Water, and pushed it to #1 in early 1975. Pat Simmons later recalled being backstage in Baton Rouge, getting the news from their crew. Black Water just hit #1. He hadn't seen it coming. None of them had.
I'm thinking about, those were the better days, and I'm going, these are the better days, what we're living right now.
By this point, the band's lineup expanded. Tyran Porter on bass made the harmonies richer. 2 drummers, Michael Hossack and later Keith Knudsen, gave the music its signature horsepower. Steely Dan's Jeff "Skunk" Baxter joined on guitar, adding layers of complexity. Between 1972 and 1975, the Doobie Brothers became one of America's biggest rock bands, but something was about to break. In mid-1975, Tom Johnston, the voice behind their biggest early hits, fell seriously ill.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't know that anybody ever knows everything you need to know, because that's the room to grow is right there. For instance, for me to develop the style I play on rhythm guitar, being known or having a reputation as being the chunka kid, is what they call me. I developed from playing folk music, which I had to do when I was working construction during the days.
A bleeding stomach ulcer nearly ended his career. He couldn't tour. He could barely stand. The band scrambled to fill the void. Baxter suggested a keyboardist he knew from Steely Dan, a quiet, soulful singer with a smoky voice and a stack of unfinished songs. His name was Michael McDonald. What happened next would change the Doobie Brothers forever. At first, McDonald came in simply to help with the tour.
Can't read it verbatim, but let's just paraphrase to say, how the fork does Michael's voice sound like he's 25 at 73?
Well, it's an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors.
You know that's not true. It is richer now, but my gosh, it's still totally there, isn't it? The magic's there.
Nice to say that. I think what it is with the voice, and I think we would all agree on this, is as you get older.
But Templeman heard his songs, taken it to the streets, It Keeps You Runnin', and instantly knew they had something new, something powerful.
Players that, people call them side men. I don't look at them that way. To me, they're as much an integral part of what we do as what we are. Our crew, it's a family, and you try to, if you treat it that way, it goes a lot further. You have patience the same way you would with members.
With McDonald's arrival, the band's signature guitar-driven boogie shifted towards silky R&B, smooth soul, and jazz-tinged harmonies. Some fans were stunned. Some were angry. Others fell in love all over again. Their 1976 album, Takin' It to the Streets, went platinum. McDonald's gritty, gospel-influenced vocals gave the band an entirely new identity.
Talk to each other a lot, and we talk about possibly playing together again, but as of right now, we don't have any plans.
But the transition wasn't simple. Johnston, recovering from illness, shared vocals, but wasn't able to fully return. The creative center of the band began shifting. 1977's Livin' on the Fault Line leaned even further into jazz fusion. Critics were split. But the transformation wasn't complete until 1978. Minute by Minute changed everything. The album went #1 for 5 weeks. The title track hit number 14, and What a Fool Believes, co-written by McDonald and Kenny Loggins, became a monster. The band's second #1. One single. It won Grammys for Record of the Year and Song of the Year. It also split the fan base clean in two. To some, McDonald was a revelation. To others, the Doobie Brothers suddenly sounded nothing like the band they had fallen in love with in biker bars years earlier.
Kind of bring in songs that were at that point, in varying degrees of being finished.
Pat Simmons later said, "A lot of people missed the old sound, and a lot of people embraced the new one. But success came with a cost. Constant touring wore them down. People came and went. Baxter left. Founding drummer John Hartman quit for the first time. Johnston, still struggling with health, eventually stepped away for good.
Doing it steadily since 1989 with us here, us three guys. But you're around each other more than you are your family. I mean, you're around each other more than you are anybody else on the planet, period. I don't care who it is. And it's just a matter of you make allowances. You sort of have to. And just like you make allowances for the travel, you make allowances for being dead beat, but you got to get up on that stage and you got to perform. Well, they don't care if you're dead beat, they want a show. Yeah. Any of that kind of stuff can get fixed, and I firmly believe this, once you get on stage. And I watched Greg Allman tell you this. This is why I'm bringing this up, because I watched him say the same thing. He says, you can have...
By 1980, with the album One Step Closer, the band was still hitting the charts. Real Love reached number 5, but the internal strain was impossible to ignore. The band wasn't just big, it was bloated. A 30-person touring machine with no clear direction. In 1981, the breaking point arrived. Pat Simmons, the quiet anchor of the group, decided to leave. Michael McDonald later said bluntly, it just didn't feel like the Doobie Brothers anymore. He gathered the band and told them the truth. Ending things would be more honest than pretending everything was fine. Their farewell tour in 1982 was emotional, nostalgic, and final. They disbanded, releasing a live farewell tour album in 1983. For the first time in 12 years, the Doobie Brothers were gone. The members scattered. Simmons pursued solo work. McDonald launched a hugely successful solo career with hits like I Keep Forgettin'. Johnston continued writing and quietly stayed involved in music. But something about the Doobies, the harmonies, the dual drummers, the mix of grit and soul, seemed permanently lost. Until 1987. That year, a benefit concert brought the classic lineup back together. Johnston, Simmons, Hossack, Baxter, Porter, Hartman. The crowd reaction was overwhelming. People hadn't forgotten. They wanted the Doobie Brothers back. So the band returned. They released Cycles in 1989, powered by their top 10 comeback hit, The Doctor. In 1991 came Brotherhood, and the touring continued through the 90s. Lineups changed often, but Simmons and Johnston held the reins, joined by the versatile John McPhee.
You know, able to do it, and people maybe want to hear us.
Oh, they want to hear you.
And when we get up there and Pat starts Blackwater or we jump into China Grove.
The 2000s brought more reinvention. Sibling Rivalry, 2000. The collaborative Southbound project in 2014, where their classics were re-recorded with country stars.
Great singers.
Getting to work with these artists, to me, is kind of fascinating.
They're making the songs new again.
By the 2010s, they were a respected legacy act with a devoted fan base. Then came the biggest full-circle moment of all. In 2020, the Doobie Brothers, in all their eras, were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow, it's been a long time coming, but we are so grateful and excited to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A lot of our musical influences are enshrined in the hall, so we couldn't ask for better company. It's been quite a trip, and we aren't done yet. My deepest thanks to the Doobie Brothers family and all the members over the years who have been part.
The world finally acknowledged the band's unlikely journey, from San Jose biker bars to yacht rock perfection to sold-out arenas. Their longevity only grew. McDonald began appearing with the band again in 2019.
I'd also like to thank all the managers, record executives, producers, all the men and women who worked hard along with us on the way to this moment. It's a great honor.
The Doobie Brothers launched massive 50th anniversary tours between 2021 and 2025, blending both eras on stage. Fans who loved Listen to the Music stood next to fans who loved What a Fool Believes. Two different bands sharing one legacy. Their 2021 album Liberté entered the US Top 20. Their 2025 album Walk This Road included Lahaina, a charity single featuring Mick Fleetwood and Hawaiian artists to support wildfire relief. After 55 years, the touring lineup now includes Tom Johnston, Pat Simmons, John McPhee, and Michael McDonald, a living, breathing time capsule of every era of the band.
Today, the Doobie Brothers have sold over 40 million records, scored 16 top 40 hits, earned multiple Grammys, and outlasted nearly every band of their generation. They've been biker bar rockers, R&B hitmakers, arena giants, and soulful reunion legends. They broke up, they healed, they reinvented themselves again and again. And somehow, they're still here. Which era of the Doobie Brothers is your favorite? The Johnston guitar rock years or the McDonald soul era? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to support more deep dives into rock's greatest stories.